This week in Pokemon Go, we are going to be getting a Paldea themed event featuring a new Pokemon family, and we're also going to be getting December Community Day. I'm going to be talking about all of this and some of the important things you need to pay attention to when it comes to this week in Pokemon Go. Alright, what's happening everyone? Count Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your week is starting off really well, and let's get right into it. So this is going to be a pretty interesting week because we are going to be getting a Paldea themed event, which is going to be featuring a brand new Pokemon family. And then on top of that, we are of course going to be seeing the end of the year during this month, so there's naturally going to be a lot of really solid events, including this weekend where we're going to be getting December Community Day, which is going to be featuring every single Pokemon that was featured for a Community Day during this year. And I am really excited about all this content, and I think there's a lot of other really nice things for you to really want to pay attention to, and I'll get more into that. But first, let's talk about the Journey to Paldea event, because this event is definitely one you will not want to miss. The Journey to Paldea event is going to start on December 2nd at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go until December 9th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. This is going to be the first event of the new season, which we just got the announcement for. Now, for this event, the featured Pokemon is going to be this new Pokemon family, which is going to include Nacli and then Naclistac, as well as Garganacl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these Pokemon's names right, but these are going to be the Pokemon that will be making their debut. I think they're very interesting because they kind of have like a Minecraft aesthetic, so I'm wondering how players will react to them and whether or not they're going to be any good for either raid battles or PvP. Now, if you want to know the candy cost for each Pokemon, basically Nacli is going to be the basic Pokemon for this family, and then you will need to evolve it into Naclistac with 25 candy, and then from Naclistac you could evolve it into Garganacl for 100 candy. So overall, it's a very straightforward evolutionary line, very similar to two-stage evolutions that we've had in the past. And also during this event, we are going to be able to get the following event bonuses. You're going to get double the amount of experience whenever you win raids, and you're going to get double the amount of experience for evolving Pokemon. And you're going to have an increased chance to encounter shiny Larvitar as well as shiny Bagon. And I really do think these bonuses are pretty good, especially because right now getting experience is actually high priority. Considering that we just got a new level cap recently, a lot of players are looking to get as much experience as possible. So definitely take advantage of this. Aside from opening gifts and hitting best friends with your friends, this is one of the best ways for you to get experience by evolving Pokemon as well as winning a whole bunch of raids. Now speaking of raids, these are what's going to be spawning in 3-star raids. We're going to see the different forms of Paldea and Tauros, and of course the various forms are actually regional. So if you want the combat breed version of Paldea and Tauros, it's going to be spawning in raids within the Iberian Peninsula, and if you want the Blaze breed version of Paldea and Tauros, you're going to have to raid in the Eastern Hemisphere, and then if you want the Aqua breed of Paldea and Tauros, you're going to need to go to the Western Hemisphere. And alongside Paldea and Tauros, we're also going to see Bombardier as well as Dondozo. Next up, let's talk about the wild encounters because this is actually kind of unique compared to what we usually get. In the wild, we're going to see Nimble, Palmy, Smoliv, as well as the new Pokemon Nacli, but on December 2nd, the 4th, and 6th, and 8th, we're going to see Larvitar, Drifloon, and Skrelp. And then on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th, we're going to get Mischievous, Bagon, and Clauncher. And keep in mind, Larvitar and Bagon are going to have an increased shiny chance. And then also during this event, there's going to be a paid timed research, which is going to cost $1.99 USD, and it's going to give you 3,000 Stardust, 2 premium battle passes, as well as encounters with event-themed Pokemon. And then finally, there's also going to be collection challenges with this event. I'm assuming you're going to be required to catch a whole bunch of those different Pokemon on different days. And there's also going to be field research task rewards, which are going to give you event-themed Pokemon. So be on the lookout for that, because it could be your way of getting high IVs of the new Pokemon Nacli. Alright, next up, let's talk about the Community Day that's going to be happening during this weekend. This is of course going to be December Community Day, which is going to be featuring every single single Pokemon that got a Community Day during this year. December Community Day 2025 is going to be happening on Saturday, December 6th and Sunday, December 7th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. Something you need to keep in mind is that this is going to be directly after the November Community Day featuring Pick-a-Peck. We're basically going to be getting 2 Community Days in a row. That is something that is very untypical for these Community Days. So yeah, I think it's very interesting that Niantic is doing that. We're going to be getting Pick-a-Peck Community Day on November 30th, and directly a week after, we're going to be getting December Community Day. And of course, every single Community Day Pokemon that we've had this year is going to be featured for this event. We have Machop, Eevee, Totodile, Routes, Solosis, Vanillite, Karrablast, Shelmet, and all of the different versions of Flabébé, Pick-a-Peck, Jangmo-O, Rookidee, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxly, and Palmy. These are all going to be spawning on various days during this event, and I really do think this roster of Community Day Pokemon is one of the most exciting that we've had. Now, speaking of what Pokemon is going to be spawning on which days, on Saturday, December 6th, you're going to be seeing Vanillite, Karrablast, Shelmet, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Palmy. And then on Sunday, December 7th, we're going to have the various colors of Flabébé, and if you look at the infographic, you would know which region is going to be spawning which color. And then we're going to have Solosis, Pick-a-Peck, Jangmo-O, Rookidee, and Quaxly. And then for the last 10 minutes of each hour between 2 o'clock p.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. for each day, we're going to be seeing Machop, Eevee, Totodile, and Routes. These are of course the Community Day Classic Pokemon that we got this year. Next, let's move on to the event bonuses, and considering this is a recap Community Day, we're going to see a substantial amount of bonuses compared to other Community Days. First off, we're going to have different evolution requirements for Espeon, Umbreon, Sylveon, Florges, as well as Pawmod, and then you're going to have double the amount of catch candy and double the amount of experience for catching Pokemon, and you're going to have double the chance at getting Candy XL. And then you're also going to get double the amount of Stardust for every Pokemon you catch, and then every egg that you place in incubators during this event is going to have a half egg hatch distance. And then Incense, excluding the Daily Adventure Incense, is going to last for 3 hours, and Lure modules are going to last for 1 hour. And then we're going to get 1 additional special trade, and trades are going to cost 50% less Stardust. And then finally, there's going to be a special research ticket which you can purchase in the web store or the in-game shop. And it's going to give you encounters with Pokemon that were featured in 2025 Community Days. There's also going to be field research rewards with 2025 Community Day Pokemon, and then there's also going to be a Community Ambassador timed research, which is also going to give you 2025 Community Day Pokemon. And I'm not too sure if they're also going to be including special backgrounds. They did not actually state it within this infographic, but I would presume that yes, there will be special background versions of these Community Day Pokemon, which you will be able to get from the special research as well as the field research tasks. And I've been saying this for pretty much the last several Community Days, but do not ignore field research because it's going to be a great way for you to pick up high IV shinies during this event. It's kind of like limited research days kind of fused together with Community Days. Field research could be a great way for you to pick up some high IV shinies, and that is definitely an aspect of Community Days most recently that I feel like a lot of players are underutilizing. And then of course there's going to be collection challenges, and I'm assuming with these collection challenges, there's going to be rewards that are going to be Pokemon encounters, so do keep on the lookout for that. Alright, now that we've talked about this Community Day, let's go over the weekly content, starting with Max Battles. So, starting today, on Max Monday, we're going to see Darumaka in Max Battles, and I will say that Darumaka is a very decent Pokemon for you to have when it comes to Max Battles. It's a very powerful fire type, specifically Darmanitan, which is the evolved form, and that is one you will not want to miss out on. Now, moving along to 5-star legendary raids, until December 4th, we're going to have Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion continuing to be in 5-star raids, but then afterwards, until the end of the week, we're going to have Kyurem. And Kyurem is a very interesting Pokemon for you to get because it does have fusion forms, and you do not want to miss out on those. But keep in mind that the fusion energy that is required for you to fuse Kyurem is not going to be obtainable, so that is something you should keep in mind. At the very least, you might get yourself a 100% IV, which you could use for a fusion in the future, or possibly even a Shundo if you're lucky. And then coinciding with these raid bosses in Mega Evolution raids, we're going to have Mega Aerodactyl, Mega Medicham, as well as Mega Garchomp until December 4th, and then afterwards we're going to have Mega Gyarados. Mega Gyarados is actually a pretty decent Pokemon, but I would actually say among all of these Mega Evolutions, Mega Garchomp is the one you will want to get energy for because it is actually a really powerful Mega Evolution and it has a lot of incredible uses. And then on the weekends, if you're looking to get yourself a really powerful Shadow Legendary Pokemon, don't miss out because there's going to be Shadow Heatran in 5-star Legendary Shadow raids. It's a very powerful Shadow Pokemon and you do not want to miss out on that. If you're lucky, you might get yourself a really high IV of this Pokemon and get yourself a very useful Pokemon for raids. And then finally, let's go over this week's Spotlight Hour. It is, of course, going to be featuring the Pokemon Cranidos, and it's going to have a 2x transfer candy bonus. This Spotlight Hour is going to be happening tomorrow, December 2nd, from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time. The best thing for you to do is transfer any legendaries that are in your storage, because that's going to give you double the amount of candy with this bonus. Now, let's move on to the Go Battle League, and this is very important for you to know. The season is going to be ending tomorrow, December 2nd, which means at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you're going to want to pop a star piece and collect the end of the season Stardust rewards. But then afterwards, we're going to have the Open Great League, Open Ultra League, as well as the Open Master League, so you can get a very strong head start on the new season, which is Precious Paths. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Definitely share all of your thoughts regarding everything that's coming to Pokemon Go during this week. I'm really curious to know which one thing in particular you're looking forward to. There's just a lot of stuff that's happening in Pokemon Go, and I really like the fact that Niantic is constantly cranking out great content for us to enjoy. And yeah, this week is definitely going to be special. So make sure you share your thoughts within the comments down below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to every single one of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Content Slow channel, the best way you can do that is always going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to personally add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, all that good stuff. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see right now on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That'll be a huge help to my channel, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And before I end this video, let me mention that I actually opened up an Etsy store. So if you want to get some really cool merch specifically related to K-pop for the holidays, maybe you have a loved one who's really into K-pop, you can get a really nice, unique gift for them through my Etsy store. I'm constantly trying to add new products every single day, so make sure you go and check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description below, and yeah, hopefully you'll get something really cool for a loved one or for yourself. And with that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, have a good week, and I'll catch you all later.